Yes, thank you. The girls had just gone to the hospital. Okay. We ended on Anna, and her last sentence says, "Was I ready for this?" Danielle, Jessica, and I looked at each other and did our best to prepare for what was coming next. All right, Danielle. There was no turning back. "Dear God, it's Danielle. Please be with me. I'm going to need your help." I guess I could have waited in the car or in the lounge, but being with brave friends kept me moving forward. Beep, beep, cough, cough, hack, 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 groan, groan. The chorus of hospital noises made me cringe. I felt my shoulders pushing into my ears. She's like, ooh, like I can't, all those noises. We walked past an old lady sitting in the hallway. She was shaking and drooling in her wheelchair. I could hear Grandma saying, "You better put me in the ground before you send me off to one of them places with all those drooling geezers." For a second, I laughed, inside, thinking of that, but just for a second. We stopped. The sign on the door said Terupt. The door was partially open, but I couldn't see inside. That's probably a good thing, because I may have run back to the car had I seen what Mr. Terupt looked like. The three of us nodded at each other silently. We were ready, or so we thought. "This is when I'll need you most." That's the rest of her prayer. Jessica. Act 9, Scene 3. Action. Mr. Terupt's door stood slightly ajar, so just like a little bit open is what ajar means. So I slowly pushed it open and stepped into his room. He wasn't alone, but he didn't have a roommate. He had a visitor. Alexia. I stopped. Danielle and Anna saw her too. We all stopped. Alexia was by Mr. Terupt's bed, her back to us. She didn't know we were there. I could hear her talking to him. Like, "I've been trying to be nice, Teach. I've been quiet. I don't know, like, what else to do. I haven't been mean. You'd be happy about that. I've been doing it your way. But, like, I still need your help. I need you to come back. Everyone needs you back." I stood right beside Alexia now, but she remained unaware. She buried her face in Mr. Terupt's bed and sobbed. I looked at my teacher. He rested peacefully in his white bed sheets amid tubes going in and out of his body, and screens with green numbers and lines on them, and beeping noises. I felt him telling me what to do. I reached out and placed my hand on Alexia's back. She lifted her head and looked at me through her tear-filled eyes. I started crying then, too. Alexia stood up and we hugged. A big hug. "I'm so sorry," she said. I felt her squeeze me tight. "Me too," I said. "I've never been to California," she blubbered. "My mom threw my dad out of the house last year. He never got sick." Okay, so the lie that she told her was that they went to California. This was way back at the beginning of the book. The lie that she told Jessica was that her dad had to go over to California because he was sick and he needed the doctors that were there. I need y'all's heads up. Heads up. Can you wake him up? Just tap him. Wake him up. Wake him up. Lucian, you okay? Okay, heads up. So that's the lie that she told. And so now all of a sudden she's having this realization, these aha moments, and telling Jessica the truth. Okay? But why do you think she lied? Here's the truth right here. My mom threw my dad out of the house last year. He never got sick. Why do you think she lied? I just heard, what? Yep.
To be popular, like to...
Maybe to make herself look better? I thought I heard someone say that. Yeah, Elise. Yeah, she was probably embarrassed about her family. Okay? And even when I read some of these things, I don't think y'all mean it, but I see and hear some of you go, oh. Like, you know that some people's families are not together, and it's hard, okay? So it's really not something to joke about. So I think she maybe was embarrassed, and so she just made up some lie to make it not sound so bad. Although your dad being sick is bad, but maybe this didn't seem as bad to her because he was getting help, okay? All right, let's refocus. Alexia sobbed into my shoulder. I squeezed her tight now. Through choked tears, I said, "My dad's not around either. he's still in California with his girlfriend. We held the hug, not with lazy arms, but strong arms. We squeezed all our sorries out in that hug. When we let go, Alexia hugged Danielle and Anna just the same. Tears filled all our eyes now, even my mom's and Terry's. We sat in chairs next to Mr. Terupt's bed. We sat on both sides and said nothing. I placed my book on the stand next to his bed. Anna put her plant by the window, and Danielle tacked her sketch to a wall. We thought our own thoughts and stared at our teacher, who lay motionless, with his eyes closed. Yet somehow I felt better. The power of Mr. Terupt, even in his coma, made something huge transpire. What's it mean, transpire? The power of Mr. Terupt, even in his coma, made something huge transpire. Gio? I could kind of see that. Olivia? Change. Transpire means to kind of change. Like, yeah. I felt light, like I could float. The past had been buried and we were ready to move forward. When it came time to leave, I touched Mr. Terupt's hand and whispered, "Thank you." Then I walked out with my 3 friends. Okay, Alexia, here's her first chapter in almost 100 pages. There was no way I could, stay away forever, especially after hearing Luke say that he'd been to the hospital. I didn't have a dad to take me, and my mom was waiting tables from noon to closing time every day of the week now. That made it easy for me, because there wasn't anyone at home to say, "Where are you going?" or "You aren't going anywhere." But I was still scared. I made my mind up and, rode my bike there one day after school. I knew what room he was in because I heard Luke say it. When I got there, I went straight to the elevator and up to his floor. "Can I help you, honey?" one of the nurses asked as I hurried down the hall. I didn't look at her. I just shook my head and kept going until I found the room. I walked in. My hands flew to my mouth. I knew Teach couldn't move, but I hadn't expected him to be hooked up to so many tubes. I stood frozen for a long time. Slowly, I found the courage to tiptoe closer to his bed. "Hi, Teach," I said. "It's Lexi." Already I fought back tears. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have been mean to you. I wanted to hate you for saying all those things to me, but you were right, Teach." I knelt next to his bed and pulled his blanket in my fists. Then the big tears came. The raindrop tears. They poured from me. I couldn't help it. I cried like I used to when my mom and dad would fight. I sobbed for a few minutes before I wiped my face on his covers. Teach just looked like he was sleeping. Was he really going to die? "I'm doing better now. I'm not being mean. You'd be happy." I squeezed his blanket in my fists again and clenched my jaw to fight back more raindrop tears. "Teach, there's something else I need to tell ya. I'm not sure, but I think I saw Peter leaving here. He's the one who threw the snowball. I know he didn't mean it. I know he didn't want this to happen. He loves you. All of us do." I dabbed my eyes with his blanket. I cried more now, but I kept talking to him. "Peter hasn't, said anything in school. He hasn't talked to anyone, not a word. But no one's trying to talk to him either. He did throw the snowball, even if he didn't mean for it to hit you. So it's still his fault." I felt bad for Peter. Everything was such a mess, and I had so many mixed up feelings. I had my face in his blankets when I felt a tap on my shoulder. I looked up and Jessica was there, and so were Danielle and Anna. I hugged them. I told them I was sorry, and then it was over. All of a sudden, I had 3 friends. Teach helped me, even in his coma. I missed him so much. He had to wake up. I had never felt so happy and sad at the same time before. Okay. Yeah. Whew. So that was kind of a big deal. We heard from Alexia. And what information did she kind of think maybe she saw?
When I'm done with my computer stuff, do I give you my computer?
Mm-hmm.
Because I forgot to do it.
Okay. All right, Alexia, what did she say that was kind of like a surprise, that should have been a surprise to you if you've been listening to the story? Maddox. Who did she? Yeah, she says, I think that I saw Peter leaving the hospital. He didn't go to school and say he was gonna go. We didn't hear anything about him going. In a chapter from him. But she also said that Peter's been very what? Quiet, right? Because he probably feels a lot of guilt. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Alexia and I'm gonna say is at the hospital visiting Mr. T when I'm just doing their initials for quick notes, and J, A, and D show up. I'm going to say, says sorry, leaves as friends. That should be leave, not leaves. Leave as friends. So they all leave as friends because they've apologized. She told the truth, came clean about her life,